Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. As you will see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today in the final day of year 2 for our New Horizons series. That's crazy to think about. This is a video diary. It's been a very long time. Technically, yes, New Horizons was released on March 20th, but I actually skipped out 4 days or so in the first year, which is why I'm kind of like offset by 4 days. But that's crazy. It's basically what I can think about. The fact that it's been 2 years of these uploads, you know, there's been nice support, you know, people just sort of vibing and chilling in. I'm not sure, you know, if I don't think the Animal Crossing series is particularly my most popular series. I think a lot of people like the other videos I like to upload a little bit more, but, you know, I like playing Animal Crossing and I like vibing out with it. And the fact it's been 2 years is pretty crazy. So anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 4:49 PM on Thursday, March 24th, 2022. We're in for Shooting Stars tonight. Whether I'll be able to actually access that or not, I don't particularly know, but we can find that out later. But yeah, we're just going to sort of take it easy today. I'm not going to really do much. I will check out Crazy Red, see if he's got anything, and I think I'll be better, you know. No need to do anything particularly crazy. Well, it wouldn't be a finale-esque episode without random ports in the middle of a video. Oh, well, I say finale, it's not really a finale. That makes it sound like it's the final Animal Crossing episode. Well, I mean, it technically is, but only for the second year. We got a whole another year ahead of us. And just a reminder, I'm not going to actually be here tomorrow over the weekend as well. So the next time I'm actually going to be here on a non-pre-recorded episode will be on Monday. So you got that to look forward to. I don't know if Fauna actually moves in immediately or she's going to move in, okay, the next day. So she's actually going to be here, well, technically on the anniversary, I suppose, of the first day of her third year. But unfortunately, we won't be able to see her today, which is a shame. But, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And it's also because, you know, I delayed inviting her because I was like, oh, maybe Pecan will give us her photo, and she didn't. But what can you do about it now? But yeah, I guess this is sort of like a look back over the year and that sort of thing. You know, obviously I'm not going to go and delve into my personal life or anything like that because that's, you know, my personal life. But, you know, we have a look through like the history of it, not the history of the channel, but like stuff that's happened and transpired, I suppose, over the past year on the channel. So this is where I had to actually get up my YouTube studio, I suppose, my channel. And I don't know, I haven't actually looked at my channel for ages, to be honest. So I don't even know what it's particularly like 1 year in Fawnhallow. There's a good old top video, one which I'll promptly ignore because, well, actually I guess that's a good sort of basis of finding out when to start from her. Well, another slight pause, but I did manage to scroll all the way down my not Animal Crossing channel, my YouTube channel, just to see sort of like the past videos I've uploaded and that sort of thing. For some reason there seems to be a bit of a gap at day 365. It skips from day 103, 164 to what am I doing? I was meant to go to Hardtown. It skips on day 364 to 371, so I'm not really sure what happened to the other days in my channel. Maybe it just isn't displaying. Maybe there's something wrong with YouTube's indexing. Which is fair enough, but, you know, apparently we started off in New Year's, or somewhere close to New Year, with Chicken Police, which I actually completely forgot about that game. That game was a hilarious game. I actually quite loved it. The charm it had with, oh, what were their names? Manny and... I should remember his name. It's Manny and something. It is Manny, right? Hold on. And then Dasher. Of course, you could forget that unforgettable cat. Hold on. What is his name? Why can I not think about it? No, it's Sunny and Marty. That's it. I combined their names. That's why I couldn't think of their names. I didn't even have to finish looking it up. It just came to me. Luckily, finishing off Tangled Tower. That was a good game as well. You know, I think that's a bit of an underappreciated game. But both of those are underappreciated. Certainly, but both sort of games where I would say the first majority of it, since I'm not actually going to be here tomorrow, I'm not actually going to buy anything from you, Crazy Red, because you got nothing interesting for us, which had a fantastic like beginning and middle part of the game, and then towards the end it was sort of like those good and bad parts. I suppose is one way to put it. Actually, Chicken Police I think was reasonably fine all the way to the end. It wasn't like a huge climactic finale or something, which was a shame. And Tangled Tower kind of like I'm not going to spoil it for you, obviously. You can go watch the series for yourself, or you can watch about the Animal Crossing video where I actually talked about Tangled Tower, I believe in it. It had a very weird ending. But it's still very much worth experience. Apparently we were still playing Spiritfarer at that time. That is crazy. I didn't realise I played like 50 episodes of Spiritfarer. And Chicken Police loops again. Did I upload Chicken Police twice? What's going on? I think YouTube is just displaying my videos a bit incoherently. Is this? And we started Celeste not too long for that. And Celeste was quite a long sort of array, wasn't it? Oh, Kukiyomi! I forgot I did Kukiyomi. Kukiyomi has that thumbnail art, which by the way took me like 30 minutes or something. I basically just sat down and just did it, and that's about it. It's terrible now I look at it. Even by my quick standards of that sort of thing, but I was basically rushing out. If you're wondering how the actual year 3 thumbnail art's coming along, it's really, really nearly done. It's so close to being finished. I mean, I need to actually edit the video together, and I'm actually going to, I've talked about this before in a previous video, but I'm actually going to commentate, I think, over the top of this video, because otherwise it's going to be like 15 minutes long otherwise, or something, which is insanely long, and it's going to be a little bit boring without me commentating on top of it. So that's at least my aim to do so. Of course, Katrina, you can purify exactly whatever curse you've befallen onto me. Oh, Fez was a fun one, you know. Fez is one of the ones I actually quite like the thumbnail art for it quite a lot. You know, it stayed very true to what it was. Of course, you know, and it was a mix of styles from the Fez, very simplistic Fez style, and incorporating Dee into the actual thumbnail art herself. It was a very fun puzzle game, you know. And I can't believe it took me so long to actually play the game. I'm looking at it now, but perspective looks a little bit strange in Fez. It's got like some sort of weird like perspective lines. I probably didn't even consider perspective in it while I was drawing it. Which, if anything, shows how my art has changed, I suppose, over time. But she looks very happy in it. Is this the point where I started adding the pink and orange? No, it must have been during Celeste, I think. I added the pink and orange eyes to Dee. So that's not year 2 stuff, and I'm just looking through this stuff. Like, I'm not really even reading the titles. I'm a very visual person, I suppose, when it comes to things. I'm not even reading things I titled my videos, which I'm sure could be interesting, but also might not be at the same time. So let's see. Fez was also a very monumental one because it had that video of me translating the Fez language and the Fez numbering system, which took like 2 hours or something, right? I don't know if anyone actually watched it the entire way through. I think I must have seen some people did, which honestly I respect that sort of commitment. And if you really like the long videos I do, then you've got a fantastic long video coming out from me tomorrow, which you can look forward to. Both, I suppose, in the thumbnail art time lapse and a special anniversary, I suppose, quote video for tying into New Horizons, which is not going to be the same as the one I did for year 1, because the one I did in year 1 is kind of like, I think I mentioned this before, it's kind of basically meant to be sort of like a mashup, like thank yous and tours of like Fawnhollow and the first year in Fawnhollow, but it hasn't really changed much from first year to second years, mainly because there's not been too huge an update, so I didn't really do the same thing again. And then we just play Chicken Police and Celeste and Fez for ages. I don't know what happened to the Animal Crossing videos. Oh, I see what's going on. YouTube is displaying them in the order I uploaded them, not the order I actually published them, I think. This is why there's just like no Animal Crossing episodes here for a bit or something, I'd assume. Or maybe the order I scheduled them? I don't really know. I can't really tell. But we played this for a very long time. Apparently we didn't play all too many games. I didn't realise how long we played Chicken Police. Well, I knew Celeste was a long one. I knew Fez was a reasonably long one as well. So it took us for ages, 26 episodes to get through Chicken Police. I didn't actually realise that until we did Little Nightmares. I still have Little Nightmares too, and I do intend to play that someday. Oh, yeah, that was the weird time when the thumbnail arts started syncing up because, was it Fez and Chicken Police finished at roughly the same time or something? Yeah, that seems about right. So it was Little Nightmares on one day, and then literally 2 days later it was Bug Snacks. By the way, I do love Bug Snacks, the characters are very amusing. By the way, there's a really nice video of like the developers reacting to a speedrun of Bug Snacks, which I would highly recommend watching because it's very interesting. Little Nightmares was okay. I'm not going to say like it was like my favourite game of all time. I think its atmosphere is very nice, but content-wise in the actual game, it was more like a visual foray, which, in my opinion, it's probably a lot more fun to watch than it is to actually play. Mechanically, it was a little bit frustrating, I suppose, because it's a little bit sluggish, but it's very atmospheric and that sort of thing. And if you're very easily spooked and enjoy being scared and that sort of thing, you can be like, ooh, that's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, I have very dead reactions when it comes to scary things, so I feel like it might have been a little bit, you know, not YouTube friendly in a sense, because you know what people like in YouTube is they like a big reactions, they like the Markiplier, the PewDiePies. I don't actually know if they still do that sort of thing, but that's I mean, I don't really know much about Markiplier apart from he played Five Nights at Freddy's, and he has very dramatic reactions, which are very theatrical and very entertaining to watch, to be fair. So oh, the Talos Principle, I forgot that was this year as well. Talos Principle was a really good game, you know. Almost there's like a select few puzzle games which really are up in the higher like tier echelons of puzzle games, you know. Babba's EU, Talos Principle is certainly up there. I suppose Fez would be up there as well if I played it much closer to the time. it came out. I'm trying to think of what other sort of puzzle games might be out there. I think Snakebird should honestly be out there, but ones which are sort of like I'm not gonna say trend setting for the game, but really sort of like go further than just being simple collection of puzzles. I guess Snakebird kind of is a simple collection of puzzles, to be fair, but okay, don't get me wrong, the puzzles are not simple in Snakebird, but like it's very straightforward. But you know, Bad Rosie and Talos Principle both go like an above and beyond Talos Principle with its sort of philosophical conjurings and storylines which go through, and ruminations, I suppose, that you reflect upon as you go through the game. And Bad Rosie, of course, with its mind-breaking like rule set and its, you know, spoiler, I'm not going to go into it. What was the other one I said? Fez has a lot of sort of like meta narrative thing going on as well, which is very interesting in its own right. I've only just played these games for ages. Like 60 episodes of Celeste, my word. More than 60. Oh, Life is Strange True Colours. I forgot about this was this as well. By the way, probably the least popular series, obviously, Life is Strange True Colours, which is a shame. I would have thought people liked it. I would have thought, you know, I mean, I like story games, so I would have thought my passion carries over to that sort of thing. But it turns out people just kind of like watching me do well at puzzle games, I suppose, if anything, or discovering puzzle games, discovering solutions to puzzles. At the same time, I don't know if it's necessarily because I'm good at them, or if it's perhaps a combination of that I'm good and because I will say I've noticed that a lot of people who watch my puzzle series are people who've already played through the game, which don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, and I definitely appreciate it as well. I love playing through the game and seeing other people's reactions to it and that sort of thing. Actually, now I think about it, that makes sense, because if you haven't played a puzzle game, you're not going to watch the playthrough of it, are you? Whereas you're more likely to do it in a story-based game or something like that. And, you know, fair enough. Yeah, but it's super helpful for people who actually watch the puzzle Let's Plays or people who actually played for it, because they, you know, people like to give me very cool, like, not hints, tidbits. You know, don't give me puzzle hints, because I don't want your puzzle hints a lot of the time. I like to try and sell things out for myself, but they give me like puzzle tidbits and like secrets and Easter eggs that I miss, especially in these exploration sort of based games, because I don't care about exploration. Well, no, I don't care about exploration. I like exploration, but I find it tedious a lot of the time. So not many games really sort of scratch that exploration itch for me. Yeah, it's far and few between. So once I've gone to a place, I don't really want to explore it again. Once I've, you know, looked over it, it's. I suppose that's probably how I put it. I find it frustrating to go back to revisit things to try and find a secret thing I missed, etc., etc. So yeah, Life is Strange True Colours, probably one of the least popular series I've ever done, which is wild to think because it's a AAA title. It was released, and I recorded it pretty soon after it came out, I believe, because of the timing just sort of lined up for it. So I thought people, you know, would be into it, but I assume people would probably watch other people playing it, because other people tend to be there's a lot more room to be comical and amusing doing that extra game, while I'm sort of very chill and vibed out, which if you want me chill and calm vibes, you probably just play the game yourself, which is fair enough, I suppose. By the way, that Life is Strange True Colours thumbnail art, still my favourite thumbnail art I've done. It's so good. And also, a lot of reason it's good is because of composition that I could steal directly from the actual Life is Strange True Colours official art in itself. And I believe a voice actress for Steph actually, when I tweeted out the thumbnail art, she replied and was like, "This is so cool," and I was like, "Oh!" It's only happened once before. No, not a voice actress, but someone associated with the game actually like retweeting it and being like, "Hey, this is cool," because people who made what's that game called? Heaven's Vault, Inkle Studios or whatever, they retweeted my thumbnail art for it as well, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Of course, now I look back at that art, I'm like, ugh. I could have done so much better, but of course, you know, of course I'm going to do better as my experience with some. I don't think I've ever seen a shirt dress before, so that's by it. Of course, as my experience and my ability gets stronger and stronger, there's still no orange bow hair bow, which is a bit of a problem. Well, it's not really that much of a problem, but you'll see why tomorrow, I suppose. But I really like Life is Strange True Colours. Like, I didn't play the first one. I watched the first one, and I, you know, quite enjoyed it. I watched the second one. I thought it was like, it didn't really hit the mark that the first one did. And this third one, I feel like it was like, oh, you know, this one speaks to me on a more personal level, because things like emotions and personal connections and people, I suppose, appeals to me much more greatly than, I suppose, much more larger moral quandaries. Not moral quandaries, but like fantastical. Well, I don't know. I do like fantastical philosophical ideas and that sort of sense. But yeah, it just not hit me hard necessarily, but appealed to me more, I suppose, than the previous two Life is Strangers did. So I'd certainly recommend that if you want to give that a shot. I can't believe how long the Celeste Let's Play was. It's kind of like not Talos Principle. or not Ori, what's the game? Hollow Knight, where I played it for like 99 episodes, wasn't it? It was one episode of being episode 100. Why is this a thing, Nintendo? It's a path I shouldn't be able to destroy it so readily. But okay, how many episodes was that until Celeste was done? 77. I will prevail. What is this for? Oh, it's for the Moonberry. How could I forget about the Moonberry? So this was a nice one because there's a very helpful person. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now. I apologise. I don't remember a lot of your usernames, or those of you who frequently leave comments. I very much remember your profile. Oh, Cavalcadence, that sounds right. Your profile picture. And there's someone else as well who started leaving like very like helpful and nice things and during that playthrough. You know, that's what I love when people have played through the game and they watch my Let's Play and they tell me about these little Easter eggs and their interpretations and cool things as well that they like to see. I'm like, oh, you know, I like to hear about this, and I don't have to do the research because you're bringing all the information to me. Orange Will the Wisps is quite a fun one. I don't think many people watch this one. I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit late to the party. Hello, Celeste. If we didn't need even more confirmation that you are here. I suppose another thing I could talk about was my naming theme, I suppose, for the actual Let's Plays, but I had to re-go through all of them again to actually remember. Oh, Later Alligator. Later Alligator was such a charming game. I wish more, if people are going to watch anything, they should watch a Later Alligator one, because that was one I had so much fun for one recording and so much fun playing, and it's just an adorably cute game. Like, even though I'm not a particularly good voice actor and voice actress, I suppose, I like to put on random voices and that sort of thing. I mean, you can see that from any of the story games I play where I get to read out the dialogue, and I'll put on a voice despite the fact I'm not particularly talented, I suppose, in that aspect. And it's really fun. And Later Alligator was just such a charming time. The humour was just like, it clicked with me just immediately. We'll say hi to Celeste, why not? Since she's sort of vibing here. I guess we'll go around trying to talk to all of our villagers, you know, in final day, I suppose. 24 hours remain. Sorry, sip of water, and you know, a little bit of that's Majora's Mask, right? I don't know, I've actually never played it. But yeah, we can go back through the titles in a bit, and of course now on to Babra's You, which is the series on right now, which, by the way, I haven't recorded any YouTube videos apart from Animal Crossing for like weeks now, because I built a backlog because I knew I'd be kind of busy throughout the end of March and that sort of thing, and you know, still am to a certain degree. But you know, once I come back from my mini trip, is hopefully when I'll take the time to actually start recording some of those episodes again. But Babra's You, Baba Make Level, of course I love Babra's You. The Baba Make Level edition is just even more fun and goodness. So I've definitely got nothing against that. Oh, One Shot! One Shot was a really nice one. It was really cute. I think, you know, certainly I can see why people draw Undertale comparisons, despite the fact that it feels like a much more like a walking simulator and sort of a story-driven thing compared to Undertale. Well, Undertale is story-driven, but Undertale at least has some sort of bare-bone mechanics in. And a parody, I suppose, of an RPG aspect. Here's one thing I'm pretty sure I've asked you about before. When it comes to TV shows, you said you're into quiz shows. That's very true. Still true, Rainy? That's right, I love quiz shows. Only Connect. Oh, that's already it. It actually came up when I was talking to Apollo. I said, speaking of TV shows, I know Fabu is a fan of quiz shows, and I started doubting my own memory. I'm glad I knew what I was talking about after all. Lily, you know us so well. One Shot was very nice. I love a character-focused story game, which is why I like Tangled Tower so much as well, because its character's just utterly fantastic throughout the entire thing. So One Shot was very sweet as well. Death's Door? Death's Door's okay. It's a game I'm playing, you know, I'm still playing through it right now. I was like, I haven't finished it yet. Well, spoilers, I suppose. I have defeated the final boss, but I haven't finished the game. Another awesome day for training. You should join me sometime. It's been a while since we've done our villagers' voices, so I thought it makes sense to sort of read them out. Death's Door's nice. It's not completely my style of game, and I like the artistic choice and the aesthetic, I suppose, and that sort of thing. But it's more just like what was I going to say? Mechanically. The mechanics, I'm just like, it's not really my sort of thing, because there's a lot of exploration which I find a bit tedious. But I will say, one thing I do like in Death's Door is about the when you're going back to collect, oh hello Flick, going back to collect all the collectibles, they make it significantly easier to do that, because they have tools back basically in their end game. Once you get them, they tell you if you're missing collectibles in this area or that sort of thing. So I guess I think that's all. Oh no, hold on, and then we get into Chicory. And Chicory's super fun, and I love Chicory now. The character's adorable, the character's sweet. It's got a fantastic mechanic of drawing things at the same time. And yeah, I just really like it. So I guess we can talk about the titling of these episodes. These series. I'm going to have to find the start of 365 again. So of course Tangle Tower is very much like criminal ones, but that was last year. Chicken Police I don't even remember. Chicken Police I think I just took a quote. This is of course a year ago, so it's not exactly on the forefront of my memory, but I believe I took a quote from the episode, the most significant quote, and then pretending it was like a newspaper headline title. Guess what I was playing? Single player hide and seek and I won. I'm so bored. I'm sorry to hear that. What's up, Raymond? I lost it, Sabu. Oh, apparently we never speak to Raymond. I should certainly speak to Raymond perhaps a little bit more often, but what you got to say? You know what's an underrated skill? Being able to say anything and still sound cool. Let me give you an example. I'm here for my dental cleaning. Did you get chills? You see, if you put enough feeling into delivery, the lines don't even matter. True that, Raymond, true that. Phoebe, we spoke to Phoebe, she was cooking. Yeah, I don't know what she'd do. Let's just sort of like sit down and vibe, I think, while I just like have a trip down memory lane. So it's not really going to be much Animal Crossing, I suppose, gameplay in today's episode. It's going to be much more of a reflection thing. Where's a nice place to sit down? I suppose it'd be nice to sort of just sit down in the middle of the town hall area, since that's a significant sort of place for it. What's a sitting down emote? I've got a sitting down emote. Nice. Plop myself down here. Have another sip of water. I'm trying to think of like any funny stories I have about these episodes. The Celeste one's of course about before reaching the top of Mount Celeste. It's all about trials and tribulations and that sort of thing. And then afterwards, I think it was all about like more hopeful words and encouraging words, like after reaching some sort of like enlightenment. It's perhaps the best way I can put it. Chicken Police has an interesting episode. There's one episode which you can find it because it's an episode which randomly has like 100 and something views, because it's got a slightly more risque title, because I chose a more risque quote for it. And the analytics on it is actually quite funny, because it's a load of people who aren't searching it because they're not looking for Chicken Police in particular. They're looking for something related to the title. Hold on. I need to remember what it was called. Oh yeah, a woman is naked without her secrets. I'm gonna try and find. Yeah, it's got 225 views, just utterly randomly. Five likes though, so apparently people, even if they're searching for it for perhaps different reasons, they still liked the video. So fair enough. I'm not gonna blame them for that sort of thing. Let me see. Reach 6.8 conversions. Yeah, so it's a very interesting sort of traffic source YouTube search, like why it recommended this video, huh? 65% from Google search. What on earth? I don't know why. You probably, I guess, don't want to think even about that much about why people are searching for engagement. 100% likes, 5 likes. Gotta respect that. Kukiyomi. I don't even remember what my naming theme was in Kukiyomi, because there was only like 2 episodes to name. Just to do with like public, not grievances, but manners, public manners and that sort of thing. Fez. Oh, Fez says every single one was all about something about spatial transformations and that sort of thing. So like changing dimensions, different views, perspectives, and alternate realities and that sort of thing. Which I tried to relate to what was going on in the episode every single time. Like, I always try and relate the title to exactly what's going on while still keeping to a theme. And it's a lot of fun trying to think of the titles, but it's also a bit of a nuisance sometimes as well. I see this balloon here. I'm gonna shoot you down. I'm gonna shoot you down, shake you up. Missed it with my slingshot. Okay, we'll just wait. Yeah, there's 4-dimensional breakthrough. The world insider. I don't know what that one is, to be perfectly honest. Oh, there was the thing I also used to do in the Fawnhallow arts, which I don't think I've done anymore, was basically once I defeated the final boss of it and I started doing much more of like the end game, the post game content, I would add like sparkles to the Fawnhallow art. I think I did that for Celeste. I definitely did it for like Snakebird and maybe Bug Fables as well, but I don't think I've done it since, mainly because I just kind of forget about it. It's mainly because when I make the Fawnhallow arts, I don't know in advance exactly when I'm going to defeat the final boss. I guess I could do it for Death's Door, but I can't be bothered. Little Nightmares is of course meant to be very horror inspired titles. I think it was like, it was all from the perspective of a monster except for the final episode where it was from the perspective of something else. I can't remember. I feel like it did like a perspective shift or something, didn't it? Accept your fate? Maybe it didn't. It was all meant to be horror based things from the perspective of a monster like chasing you down. Bug Snacks was, I don't know what Bug Snacks was. That was, maybe Bug Snacks was all meant to be like innuendo titles. I can't remember. They kind of look like them, I'm not gonna lie. And it was only because the first one was Tasty Entree. It was meant to be meal food themed, and then also if I could make them an innuendo, I would make them an innuendo just for fun, you know. And it was because of Snacks on the Beach. I found it very hilarious in the actual episode itself. Yes, I mean some of them aren't particularly good innuendos, and I'm not gonna lie, but if you come at it from that perspective and you got a mind of a child, I suppose, like me, you might find it kind of amusing. I mean, some of them don't make sense. Okay, that's a bit of a weird one. The Talos Pencil was actually probably the most difficult one to write titles for by far. All of the Talos Pencil titles are philosophical concepts or things related to philosophy, or if not philosophy, they're related to things kind of tangentially related to it. So it's basically a lot of it was just me like going onto Wikipedia, going through like different philosophy pages, just trying to look up like philosophical terms or things relating to it, or idioms or things in that sort of like general space, I suppose. Space, and then trying to relate it exactly to something which happened in the video itself. So, you know, first principles, you know, that's from first principles, that's a philosophical, well, and it's more of a mathematical proof sort of thing, but still, I mean, consistency is another mathematical thing. I think it's also in philosophy. I can't really remember what Linux is. But Ivory Towers, of course, is a parable. Oh yeah, there's some like religious imagery and theming through it as well. Impossible World Consciousness, Centipede's Dilemma. They all had that sort of thing. I don't know people... and I wish people were more impressed with that sort of thing. But also, maybe it's because the titles made no sense of that sort of thing, because I'm not a philosopher, so I don't really know. But I did really, really try hard to link it to exactly what goes on inside the thumbnail, inside that episode. Life is Strange True Colours, of course, they're all emotion themed. But there's nothing really much more to add on to that. I will say, it's certainly, I will say, if anyone wants to do their own Let's Plays, you should probably title your episodes based off something which actually is inside the game. For example, in Bug Fables, a lot of them for Bug Fables episodes are titled after like the enemy I fought or the area I'm in, because that helps people look up guides to that sort of thing, as it happens, as I learned from Bug Fables. A lot of people have looked up my Tidal Worms episode because they don't know where the Tidal Worm is or had to find it. A lot of people also have looked up the Defiant Root Mayor because of that episode. And they find my Bug Fables episode where I find the Defiant Root Mayor because they don't know where the Defiant Root Mayor is, which, by the way, it took me also like 20 minutes to find him in the episode, so I don't blame you. So it's something I should do more often, but I like my thematic titling a little bit too much to give it up, I suppose. I don't remember Ori's one. Oh, Ori's one was just context-based things. About things that happened in the episode, kind of just like Hollow Knights. Well, Hollow Knights started out like that until I started running out of things to title things after, so it just kind of became really wild. Yeah, surprising how I don't think many people watched the Ori one. I guess I'm just sort of late to the party in that thing. I don't remember Later Alligator. Oh, Later Alligator was all like double meanings. They all meant to sound like mafia-esque, like hits, or like things you might hear in like a murder mystery and that sort of thing, or things you might hear in like a mafia movie. Which, you know, was quite difficult because I had to do like 14, and I'm not particularly well versed, I suppose, in like 1920s gangster speak or that sort of thing. Babrazoo, of course, all the Babrazoo titles are basically phrased as things you could make in Babrazoo, kind of. Obviously, the nouns don't always exist, but still. One shot there was, I can't remember, I think it was based off quotes in the actual one shot until that one pivotal moment happens, in which case they all switch to just like one word titles. Oh, hello. Another gift wrap to shoot down. After, you know, the solstice moment. Oh, these two are chatting. What are you about to say? What's wrong, Audie? That was a pretty heavy sigh. As Pop Star on TV last night was so amazing. She was like everything I admire and more. It got me stressing about if I'm ever going to get where she was. Don't sell yourself short. You are you, and that is fantastic. You're a fearless bug charging towards a flame. Oh, are you saying that I can accomplish anything because of my fiery passion? I read that phrase in an old help self. self-help magazine. Yeah, I got this. I'll bulldoze my way to being a world sparkless pop star. Great, I see you got your shine back. I look forward to your radical success. Aw, Raymond. What a sweetheart you are. Yeah, so that's one-shots, and death stores are all like corporate, like business phrases. Which is also quite a difficult one, I'm not gonna lie, especially when it's coming to a sort of end game where I'm running out of things to title things after, and then rounding off with trickery, which is all just sort of like artistic terms and that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It was nice. It was a nice year in review and that sort of thing of a channel and that sort of thing. We had a lot of fun times, and basically, I just want to say, if you're someone who's watching, either if you've been here from day one or you just started yesterday, thank you very much for your support, and please continue leaving comments, liking the things, sharing with your friends and that sort of thing. It's very greatly appreciated in helping with growth of this channel and that sort of thing. I'm gonna continue, you know, vibing out playing these sort of games and that sort of thing. So if you do like what you see, please do support me in any way you can. But for now, well, I suppose this is the end of year 2. We're going on to year 3, I suppose, in Fawnhollow, and even more sort of like casual chats and nice vibes all around. And, well, I suppose even more games to play. So, for now, and the final time in year 2, which, by way of reminder, I'm not actually going to be here tomorrow, so there's going to be a pre-recorded, 3 pre-recorded episodes coming on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Animal Crossing, but I'll be back on Monday, in which I'll release a video, I suppose, actually talking more about year 3 and probably doing more of a big thanks. But look forward to the videos I have planned for tomorrow. It's only like 2, don't get your hopes up there. They're not amazing or anything, they're just kind of like amusing, I suppose, to me, and only me. But anyway, so really, if you have been watching and supporting me all this time, well, sorry, I guess this has been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join the Dear Darling Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. And I hope we can see each other again next year. And if you've been supporting me this entire time, or if you've not been supporting me, I suppose, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. So until next time. Oh, that's the wrong emote. That's the wrong reaction. Bye-bye for now, and thank you very much.